Hi everybody, my name is Matt Wolf. It's great to see you, great to see everybody here. I thank you for coming to Experimento IV. Yes, we've done this, yes. Oh, the dancers here. Oh my goodness. This is our first time down here, so we're really excited, especially the dancers excited. She has so much more room. We've had 3 experimentos upstairs. And now, I guess that's the pros and cons of COVID. There's a pro. You have to be down here and spread out. So, yeah. So let me introduce you to who's on the stage here. We have DeChellis on the keys, Reichard on guitar, and Ortega on clarinet, Sanchez on percussion. I heard there was a theremin somewhere in the building. I don't know if that's been proven yet, found out, but I heard there's a theremin. We have Nina, Boodhansingh, and she'll be painting for us tonight, live painting. And then, without further ado, we have Cleveland Wall, Burton, Stehly, Nicolle, Lentz dancing. We'll do 2 45-minute sets with an intermission of around a half hour. So, without further ado, wait a minute. I have to officially start this off. I feel like it's just some ceremony like Groundhog's Day or something. So I found some glasses here, my experimental glasses. Look, they even fit over my glasses. I found, is this not perfect? Oh my God, look at the lights. This is brilliant. Everybody, this is experimental. caused by random fruit, dank hallways, kissing the wrong person all day. I have nothing to do anymore. Make something up so you can feel like you're an alive capitalist. Feel my health is fading away. Lost to marketplace healthcare. Left to breathing whatever our mingling air can bring. Breathing whatever our mingling air can bring me.
This one's called To Hell with Hope. I'm sitting at the intersection of Washington Avenue and Linden Street in Bethlehem. I'm at a stop sign and there's just continuous cross traffic. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And the traffic just doesn't let up. I look in my rearview mirror and I see two small cars behind me. And in the distance, a semi-tractor trailer. As I look in my rearview mirror, it seems like the tractor trailer is moving pretty fast. I look at the traffic. It's just non-stop traffic. I'm just waiting at the stop sign to get across. Cars and cars and cars. I look in my rearview mirror again. Two small cars behind me, and that semi-tractor trailer still moving pretty fast. It seems like he's too close to be moving that fast. Now I'm starting to think this could be a real disaster. I look at the cross traffic, it's still going. No break in the traffic. I look in the rearview mirror, and that semi-tractor trailer is getting closer yet. And he's not slowing down. This doesn't look good. So I have some time to think. What do I do? Do I take my chances and jump out into the traffic? Or do I sit here and hope? I take one last look in the rearview mirror and I say to myself, to hell with hope. I mash the gas pedal down. I shoot out into the traffic. I'm swerving, they're swerving. Cars are spinning and swerving. Everybody's narrowly missing each other. And I make it to the other side. I slow down and I look in my rearview mirror. The semi-tractor trailer hits the first car, lifts that car up onto the second car, pushes both cars out into the intersection, and the cross traffic hits those cars, and there's twisting metal and broken glass and tires screeching, crushing that hope, crushing that hope. Yeah, to hell with hope.
lilac wine, a Nina Simone cento. Sweet and heady like my love. I tell you, this is a show tune, but the show hasn't been written for it yet. I ought to drink. I left a note on his dresser with these few goodbye words. You ain't never been blue. No. I'm ready, darling. Don't smoke in bed. I'm leaving my wedding ring unsteady. It's gonna be like dying when he calls. Don't let him handle me with his hot hands. With a brick in my handbag and a smile on my face. Meeting his pleasure, parting his pain, slow and steady, down to my shoes. Men cluster to me like moths. All I have are my arms to enfold you. So break down, let it out already. Wild is the wind.
Had to be playing on the jukebox. Had to be flashing like the Daily Double. Had to be written by Allen Ginsberg. Had to be playing on TV. Had to be announced over loudspeakers. The CIA and the Mafia are in cahoots. Had to be moaned over factory foghorns. It had to be chattering on car, radio, news. Had to be screamed in the kitchen. Had to be written in library books. Footnoted. Had to be barked on TV and heard in alleys, through ballroom doors. Had to be played on wire services. Had to be bells ringing. Comedian stopped dead in the middle of a joke in Las Vegas. It had to be the Mafia and the CIA together starting war on Cuba. It had to be dope cops in the Mafia. Sold all their heroin to America. It had to be the FBI and organized crime working together in cahoots against the commies. It had to be the CIA and the Mafia and the FBI together. The secret, the drunk, the brutal, the dirty rich. They wanted junkies. They wanted Attica. They wanted Kent State. They wanted war in Indochina. It had to be the CIA and the Mafia and the FBI, multinational capitalists. The horse's head in a capitalist bed. Horse's head? Thank you, Allen Ginsberg, for writing these words. That's an excerpt from Had It Been Playing on the Jukebox.
had this friend named Whitey. They called him that because he had white hair all his life. Whitey was a really good pool player. So Whitey taught me how to play pool. And then Whitey and I became a team. We would go to the bar as a team and we would just win all night long. It was the greatest thing ever. So one night we're in the bar and we're on a winning streak. We're just winning game after game. And I noticed out of the corner of my eye, 2 bikers came in, set down a $5 bill on the table, and disappeared into the crowd. Well, we were on our winning streak. We were going and going. We couldn't lose. And I had almost forgotten about those 2 bikers when they came and picked up their $5 bill off the table and racked up the balls. Well, it was my turn to break them up. So I shot and I broke up the balls and they went all over the table. They spread out. One went in and the rest of them were easy pickings. And I thought, wow, this is too good. So I start shooting. And I'm getting one in. Then I'm getting the next one in. Then I'm getting the next one in. And soon I'm down to the 8 ball. As I'm ready to shoot the 8 ball, I look up at these 2 bikers and I'm thinking, if I get this 8 ball in, are they gonna think we were hustlers? Are they gonna get pissed? They're already pretty drunk. Well, I had to take the shot, so I shot the 8 ball, and it went across the table, and it stopped right in front of the pocket and didn't go in. And to tell you the truth, I was relieved, because I was afraid these guys were going to explode if that would have gone in. So now it was time for the biker to get up and shoot. The smaller of the 2 bikers gets up and shoots, and he gets one in. Then he gets another one in. Now he's cocky. So he doesn't even aim, and he shoots, and he misses. Oh, was he pissed. He went back and stood in his corner, and he was bouncing his pool cue up and down. Well, now it was Whitey's turn. Good old cocky Whitey was up. I said, oh no. So Whitey goes up to the table, the 8 ball's sitting right in front of the pocket. He walks up there, doesn't even aim, doesn't even look, he looks over at me, he slams the pool ball, goes across the table, hits that 8 ball so hard into the pocket it almost came back out again. Then he struts over to the end of the table and he picks up the $5 bill and waves it in front of the biker's face and puts it in his pocket. Oh, God. Now it's my turn to go get a $5 bill from the big biker sitting at the bar who didn't even get to shoot. So I walk over and as I'm getting close, I notice he's got a row of shots in front of him. 6 shots, and he had already drunk 5. He was on his 6th shot. Well, he threw back the 6th shot and threw his glass behind the bar. I thought, oh my God, these guys are pissed. So as I was walking towards him, he saw me coming in the mirror behind the bar. took his $5 bill and he held it up over his shoulder. And I took it out of his hand. And I said, well, we just got lucky. And I started to walk away. And as I was walking away, I was thinking, these two guys are ready to explode. They're gonna trash this bar. It's gonna be ugly. I'm walking toward the door and I'm thinking, what can I do? What could I do? So I walked back over to the big biker, like an idiot, holding out the $5 bill, and I said, you know what? You came here to have a good time. You came here to enjoy yourself, and I'd rather be your friend than somebody who beat you at a pool game. So I want to give you this $5 bill back. And the weirdest thing happened. This guy melted. He totally melted. He got a big smile on his face, and he said, "You're all right. This guy is all right." And he smacked me on my back, and boy, did that sting. Then he took the $5 bill and he ripped it in half and gave me half. I thought, oh, okay. So I took the $5 bill and I started walking towards the door. And I heard him yell out, "Oh no, you're not going anywhere." So I turned around and walked back. And I get back to him and he goes, "You're drinking a shot with me right now." I said, okay. So he puts up 2 shots. He drinks a shot. I drink a shot. I'm already half drunk, but I'm not going to refuse that shot. So I drink the shot. I slap him a high five. And I head towards the door. Well, as I'm going out the door, I'm thinking, hey, that went pretty well. I diffused that whole situation. I made peace. So I get outside and I'm a little too drunk to drive. So I decide to walk around a little. So I'm walking around and I'm like thinking, I solved that problem. I created peace where something could have gone really bad. So I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm walking, and I'm thinking, I've got the answer to world peace. I've discovered the answer to world peace. I'm so proud of myself. I'm picking up my strut. I've got the answer to world peace. I figured it all out. I can't believe how well that went. Well, I started to sober up. So I headed back towards the bar. When I got to the parking lot, I saw 2 police cars sitting in front of the bar. I thought, what could this be? And suddenly the door burst open and 2 cops came out. And they were carrying the big biker. And his face was all bloody. And they pushed him into the police car. And then the doors busted open again. And there were 2 more cops. And they were walking Whitey out to the police car. And Whitey turned and looked at me and smiled and waved as they pushed his head down into the police car. I thought, oh no, there goes world peace. There it goes, down here. So the moral of the story is, I guess, world peace takes both guys.
universe is a 3D torus, physicists now say, a giant donut. So, where does this leave us exactly? Are we nothing but raspberry jam and its cakey folds? Is there a sister donut hole cosmos? Like a tiny nibble of reality sold by the dozen? Is all the empty space we live in just black coffee? Have we been dunked? You've probably figured it out by now. I've worked hard to reference space, jam, and dunking because, well, maybe you've seen this movie from my childhood about cartoon rabbits playing ball with aliens and Michael Jordan. On paper, it's terrible, but trust me, it's terrible. We love it anyway. Maybe you've heard on this blueberry crumb of a planet, in this starry pinwheel we inhabit, a galactic cruller, still bright and wet from the fryer or God's tongue, some asshole decided what we really need right now, the same year 2 billionaires dick rocket into space, the year one coast is on fire and the opposite one chokes on its smoke, the year those of us who survived a pandemic are still terrified of it. What we need, he decided, was to remake Space Jam. Let's set metaphor aside for a minute. Like a half-eaten fritter on a plate. To be clear, don't see this. It's terrible. There's a rapping pig. LeBron is no Michael. And how bad does a movie have to be that not even Don Cheadle can save it? Reader, I'm not even a pink sprinkle on the face of the world. But I know this. You can't paint a fresh coat of glaze on shit and expect us to eat it for breakfast.
Shaking their boots. The mask. The mask. The mask is back. Better than ever before. Blanketing our land, popping up in parking garages, parks, outside restaurants and bars. Ah, they're bold. They lie there, daring you to pick them up. But you don't, for fear of what lies within. The brave few pluck the strings with 2 careful fingers, like they're playing a life or death game of operation. I've even seen a man's nose lighting up with fear. just at the touch of the simple surgical mask. There seems to be no end in sight to the litter takeover. Pandemics rage on. Variants produce varieties of face coverings previously unknown to man. Art masks of all kinds. Glittery gum covers. Beaded, bespeckled breath barriers boldly claim their territory in the littered landscape. But the one you must keep your eye on the most, blue and white generic. The stormtrooper of the silent killer barrier wars. The blue and white generic seems to multiply faster than the wind can keep up. People with 2 or 3 on their face at a time, one in their pocket, shedding half of that lot in one day. Pretty soon the blue and white mask street takeover will reach whole neighborhoods. Irritated, no masked man will curse the spreading, wind-strewn, no man lands cropping up filled with blue and white creepers. Where will it end? That's not me talking. That's the cigarette butt. The soon-to-be has-been of the Detroit wars. The owner of millions of little crowns of trash victories. This depressed lot has seen tens of thousands of its members committing cigarette suicide by jumping out in front of passing cars. They're out in the street, they're crushed, and they'll never be the same. So friends, don't get me wrong, wear your masks. Just try to find the proper receptacle to dispose of them. Because how much more cigarette butt blood on our hands can we bear? The end of set 1 of Experimento. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for Dan DeChellis on keys, Reichard on guitar, Andrew Ortega on clarinet, Sanchez on percussion, Boodhansingh painting, She's on the brush. Nicolle Lentz dancing for us tonight. And poet, writers, Bert Stehly, Chad Frame, Cleveland Wall, and I'm Matt Wolf. Thank you. We're gonna take about a 26-minute break, come back here around 8:45. There's merchandise, there's books, CDs, I believe, maybe CDs.
So I went for a walk in the park. As I was walking up the hill, an SUV with moms and dads and kids in it went past me up the hill. And I thought, wow, good old-fashioned fun. Moms and dads taking their kids to the park. None of that sitting around on a couch potato playing video games. They were taking the kids to the park. As I got up over the hill, I saw the moms and dads sitting at a picnic table, staring into their phones. I looked over at the kids, sitting on the swings, staring into their phones. Only the toddlers were running around with sticks and playing with balls. And I thought, oh my God, what have we become? Oh my God, why? 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 Why don't they make phones for toddlers?
waiting for a bus. It is best to practice this while waiting for the bus. It's called method. While waiting for the bus, check your wrist as if you had a watch on. Stare fixedly at a spot several blocks away, as if expecting a bus to appear. Stare as if conjuring the bus like a rabbit from a hat. Now look away. Tap your foot to indicate impatience. Okay, pretend not to be listening to the couple arguing on the bench. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. You always do this. No, I don't. Yes, you do. God damn it! It's okay if you wince when he punches the bus stop. No one is looking at you in this moment. Okay. Beat and take out a cigarette. This is your motivation to move off into the wind so you can light it. Otherwise, it looks as if you're reacting to the conversation you weren't listening to. No, you are a poet, preoccupied with subtler things. Smoke implacably, world-weary, as if waiting on the 53 Godot line. Consider the pigeons pecking at the rice from a discarded burrito on the ground. Pretend to be thinking about their lives. How long has that burrito been there? How do they not get salmonella or botulism, whatever it is you get from eating a burrito off the ground? Okay, now, say your mobile rings, and it's your mother. Pretend you are receiving a phone call from your mother. Sad news. You know what it is before she says, but must act surprised, dismayed. Your godmother has died, whom you didn't really know, but who did show up in your mother's stead at your first big reading, exactly as if she were your godmother. What is appropriate for this level of connection? Decide how you're going to feel about it and commit to that. Don't oversell it. While this is happening, imagine that it is really happening to you. What would the person playing you in the movie of your life say? Console your mother. Wait for the mood to even out. Hang up. You are so far beyond the squabbling couple and the pigeons now. They have no idea the depth of your emotion as you stare at a shred of plastic stuck in some filthy municipal tree. Pretend not to notice the diesel motor lumbering up the street. Your reverie broken only by the pneumatic dramatic sigh of the doors opening right beside you. Brave face, chin up. Stride ponderously onto the bus as if leaving your home forever. Find a window seat. Pretend to be looking through your reflection instead of at it.
Fun fact, the blood vessels of a blue whale are large enough to drive a 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport through. Just imagine getting lost in that whale, wondering who else has been down this road before, getting no cell signal, of course, and not knowing how to read an atlas. You pass a tow truck, its winched hook dangling like a man's softness. You nod to the driver in that way men do sometimes, chin jutting up, conceding nothing, as if to say hello, and I could take you all at once in the same motion. Then you will notice the squareness of his shaven jaw, the way his close-cropped blonde hair makes his blue eyes pop. And then he's there in your passenger seat. You're off to find a dark capillary to root in his lap like a truffle pig. There in the rush of hot blood, leagues away from anyone to judge you, his fingers exploring up and down your 7-inch touch-screen display, prone on the lush dark cloth seats, deep in some poet's wine-dark Atlantic, blue fleshy submarine pressing onward.
I'm the man. I was there. I suffered somewhat. I'm an American. I have a passport. I did not suffer in public. And I'm too young to die. I'm a self-made man. I have plans for the future. I'm in line for a top job. I may be moving on to Detroit. I am only temporarily a tie salesman. I'm a good Joe. I'm an open book to my boss. I am Lawrence Ferlinghetti. I wrote this poem. I wrote part of it. I wrote the whole thing. I am a complete mystery to my closest friends. I'm leading a quiet life in Mike's place every day, contemplating my navel. I am a part of the body's long madness. I have wandered in various night woods. I have leaned in drunken doorways. I've written wild stories without punctuation. I am the man. I was there. I suffered somewhat. I have sat in an uneasy chair. I am a tear of the sun. I am a hill where poets run.
I had a construction job. I was working, finishing a new house that someone was going to buy the next day. So I was in there doing all the finishing touches. And the door opens up and in walks a real estate woman, very attractive, well-dressed, carrying a clipboard. She walks in the door and walks right past me like I'm not even there, and goes upstairs. Well, I hear her walking around upstairs, and all of a sudden I hear this, oh, I wonder what that was. Then a second later I hear, I thought, well, I better go upstairs and see what's going on. So I go upstairs, and she's standing in the bathroom, and she's going, nothing works in here, nothing works. It's not on, there's no water. I said, oh, don't worry. We turn the water on the day the house is sold, because we don't want anybody using the bathrooms. We have a porta-john outside for the workers to use the bathrooms. Oh, okay. She writes it down on her clipboard. Then she goes downstairs, and I hear her walking around downstairs. She goes into the living room, and I hear, I said, okay, I'll bite. I go downstairs. What's wrong? This carpet's dirty. It's all dirty. Somebody got to clean it. I said, oh, don't worry. We have a cleaning crew coming. We're going to clean this carpet all up. They'll get rid of all the dirt. They'll do that tonight. Oh, okay. Writes it down on her clipboard. Then she goes into the powder room. And I hear, I thought, okay, what? Nothing's working, there's no water. I said, I know. We have a plumber coming tonight. He's going to turn the water on. We don't turn the water on because we don't want people using the bathroom. Oh, okay. She writes it down on her clipboard. Then she goes into the kitchen. She's in the kitchen for a little while. All of a sudden I hear, I thought, okay, what is it? I walk in, she goes, there's fingerprints on the wall, fingerprints. I said, oh, I have paint, I'll touch it up, it'll be gone tonight, don't worry about it. Oh, okay. She writes it down on her clipboard. Well, now she's had just about enough of everything. So she starts walking towards the door. And just before she gets to the door, she turns and goes into the powder room and closes the door behind her. And I'm thinking, did she just forget that I told her that the water's not on? She forget that quick. And the door burst open and she came out all huff and a puff. Ran right past me and went out the door like I wasn't even there. Well, I watched her going down the sidewalk. And as she was going down the sidewalk, she looked over at the porta-john. Then she looked back. Then she looked at the porta-john again. And she looked back. And I guess she was thinking, any port in a storm, when you gotta go, you gotta go. So she goes into the porta-john. Now, I don't have ESP, and I can't really predict things, but I'm pretty sure when she got in there, you could hear a really loud because there's some 30 guys using that thing all week. Well, these porta-johns, they set them up to keep people from using the bathrooms in the house or from going around the outside of the house and using that for a bathroom. They don't want that kind of stuff happening. But on the last day of the job, the Porta-John company comes and picks up the Porta-John, puts it on a truck, and takes it back and has it cleaned up, and it's ready for a new life at another house. So the Porta-John truck pulls up. They unload a forklift, and the forklift goes over and picks up the Porta-John high into the air. Now the real estate lady, remember her? She's still inside. She's still inside. Well, she panics as this is being lifted up into the air. She's like 6 feet into the air, and she swings open the door and almost falls down to the ground. Oh my God. Unfortunately, when she swung that door open, she threw the Porta-John off balance. And it fell off of the forklift and landed upside down. Upside down. Well, the rest of the story kind of writes itself. But let's just say there was a lot of blue color.
Without asking, the tea house seats the two of us in this season's theme room, homegrown heroes, where the walls, instead of the usual white grandmother parlor decor, lace, dainty, dated, are a riot of red, white, blue streamers likely bought on July 5th clearance at Party City, and a jumble of cop and fireman paraphernalia collected from over the years. Dinged helmets, rusty badges, a length of dirty hose, chipped nightsticks, and old billy clubs dangle over us like doom over Damocles. How many of my people's brains, my friend asks, gesturing with a wide, dark finger, barely able to squeeze through the dainty cup's handle. Do you think those things bashed in? The air's all oolong, subtle notes of sun-sweet blueberry and tension. Look at the knees on that Navy uniform, I reply, a bite of sausage quiche balanced on my fork. Don't they look a little worn out? We have dressed in our Friday best. The platonic pair of gay white man and straight enough black married father of two. The waitress, who is probably also the owner, feigns a smile, but the tisks that keep drifting our way aren't the clinks of china on saucers or the hiss of Earl Grey poured from a spout. The neighboring women are whispering conspiratorially and glancing furtively when they aren't busy stuffing themselves with petite fours. So I finish my rooibos, I dab my lips 3 times with a flourish of white napkin, and then I turn to them. Hey, I ask, what did the gay stag say after leaving the tea house? I wait a beat. They gape in surprise and fear. Man, I finish, as we drop cash on the table and turn to leave. I blew like $50 in there.
Friend wrote me a text. He said anything's possible. Although he was talking about basketball, I knew it was true about life. Water flows away at stone, wearing it down, transforming. One struck match illuminates a whole room filled with darkness. A tree exists. A bird exists. I marvel at its strength. I fly alongside it. Anything is possible. From the top to the bottom, in this life or the next, I left a thought that doubted me. Change the tape. Whistled a new tune. The movie screen plays pictures. 1,000 changes a night. The white screen doesn't change. Who am I then in this vast world of moving pictures? Changing matter. Illuminating rock. Sliced through by zealotry, greed, circumstance, and light. Red roses, red roses, red roses, signifying love. I am that. As other things pass by my carriage and rest along the way.
demiurge propelled me hither, I don't know. I was just strolling down some dazzled lane, when of a sudden, a tiny black funnel out by the horizon shimmied into view, gave a wiggle, and was gone. That had been no more than a wisp, no more. But when again it screeched across my path, it was quite tall, and looked to be made of bees, or thorny gramophone needles, or all the inky ABCs swept clean off all the newsprint pages, now flapping forlorn and naked against the stiles and fence posts and silos of some dreary outlet. And again it was gone, and I sauntered on until behind me came a great and curious rushing. As I turned to look about, my hair flew up above my ears. And before I knew it, the rest of my person had lifted off, spinning high in the whistling air, till I landed here, with a flop and a bang, in the roiling grass, under this weird sky. A small dog nipping at the tail twigs of my broom.
This one's called Guilty. Guilty. I grew up in a small town. There wasn't a lot of trouble there, and it was a small police force. Their biggest problem was juvenile delinquency. And that's where I came in. So I was always up to no good with all my friends. We were so good at it that we had escape routes. We could go down in the sewer, or we'd go in between narrow buildings, and we'd put our feet on both sides of the wall and shimmy up to the rooftop. So one night I was up to my usual mischief, and I started getting chased by the cops. So I ran down into the sewer. And I ran in there, and it was like I was on The Fugitive. They were shining a flashlight in there looking for me, shining a searchlight in there. When I got to the other side, the cops were on the other side, shining a light in there. So I went up a drain pipe, and I came out in the street. And when I came out in the street, I was so happy that I got away, and they were right behind me on the street. So I started running. I ran in between these two buildings that were real close together, put my legs on both sides, and shimmied my way all the way to the top. I got up to the top, and I ran over to the edge, and I looked down, and there were the cops going around in circles looking for me. Driving around. Well, finally they stopped. And they got out of the car, and they started walking around looking for me. And I went over to the edge, and I was watching them walk around, and I remembered that I had a rock in my pocket, from some previous shenanigans. So in a moment of delinquent hubris, I took the rock and I threw it as far as I could. It sailed through the air and landed on top of the police car with a nice clank. The police ran back to their car and they got out a searchlight and they were shining it all around on the ground, all over the place looking for me. And finally they shined it out. And there I was, standing on the edge of the roof, looking down, and they shined the searchlight right on me, and they said, "Freeze!" And I froze. And I couldn't think of anything to say, I just froze. And they said, "Was that you?" And I said, "I can't even throw that far." Guilty.
Keep the claps going for Dan DeChellis on keyboard, Reichard on guitar and on the floor, Ortega, clarinet, then Sanchez on percussion, Boodhansingh painting, and then we have Nicolle Lentz was our dancer tonight, poets, Cleveland Wall, Chad Frame, Burton, Stehly, poetry and stories, and I'm Matt Wolf. We thank you very much for coming out to Experimento Part 4. Look out for more of them. We're going to hang out a little, break down our instruments. You can hang out too. There's merchandise, paintings. That painting is from the very first